not sure yet. I haven't thought that through. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I did ask him, I said, are you going to do you want to come here, or is your plan to come here? And he said, in the driest voice possible, not unless I want to be miserable. And I didn't react to that because it almost felt like he was saying that to hurt me, because there's no reason for him to be miserable around me. I'm pretty chill, relaxed, and we haven't had one argument since I've been back here. So it was kind of disappointing to hear him say that. That comment lacked any introspection or empathy or compassion for how I might receive that. But I still didn't respond because I figured he didn't really care anyway. And I found out that he he was looking for leases. He was looking for apartments. Mind you, he did not mention to me any of this, that he was looking for apartments. He didn't ask me if I wanted to join him. He didn't seek my opinion. He didn't invite me to go apartment shopping with him so that we could look for maybe a larger place. He just went and looked for 1-bedrooms for himself. And he told me he signed the lease, and I found out that he signed a 14-month lease for $500 more than I was paying for my rent, which he said was too expensive for what I was getting for my 1-bedroom in my building with my amenities. And I was so tempted to say something to him because it was so not fair, to show him how ridiculous it was that I had a 6-month lease because he didn't want to sign for a longer commitment. And I could have had a 14-month lease for a very low cost that would be bearable for me, that he wasn't responsible for, because I'm paying the rent. He just co-signed it. And I know, like, when someone just co-signs a lease, they are responsible, but I have never had an issue paying my bills. And he was paying much more than me for a longer period of time. And the goal of this process was for us to save money. And now, between the two of us, the housing expenses were not saving much. And it just seemed really stupid. And it just, it reinforced the fact to me that he's not on my team. He's all about himself. He's not even thinking about how uncomfortable it's going to be for me to renegotiate to negotiate an extension, or if I can't do that, to leave after 6 months of moving in here. Like, who signs a 6-month lease and then changes their mind without a conversation with the partner that they're telling to only sign a 6-month lease because he doesn't believe in renting? He believes in purchasing, and then changes his mind and doesn't tell me. And then signs a more expensive, longer-term lease for himself without any consultation with me, not a discussion. It was just so much of a contrast than what I had done. I had incorporated his feedback. I had solicited his feedback. I asked him to see if he wanted to visit. I asked him what he thought about all the options. I was working on a collaborative approach, and he was working on a self-centered, selfish approach. And now he was going to be better off than I was. And my lease actually expires on my birthday, which is, I don't know if that's an omen, but it expires on my birthday. And I really didn't want to be thinking about trying to figure out my life at that point. Thinking about moving and relocating and negotiating lease extensions. It just adds a layer of angst that I really don't want to be dealing with on top of everything else I have to deal with. But such is life with a toxic, self-centered person. My needs have never been important. And yet I'm still here and, just trying to make things work until I can figure out a way to get out of this. It just makes me so frustrated that there's just so much inequity. It's not fair. And, it's like, who do you complain to? I don't have anyone to complain to. No one holds them accountable. When I try to just have a voice, it's like I don't have a right to. He gets angry. He calls me angry. It's like he thinks I'm bitter, and I'm just trying to assert my boundaries and show how inequitable some things are. But it's really to no avail. He doesn't seem to understand when things aren't fair for me. And it's weird because things seem really unfair for him when he has to be held accountable. He didn't understand why I had to live in this building, and he kept asking me when we started the process, why that building, and why do you need to live there, and why haven't you found anything, and it was odd because he kept his main objection was, why do you have to live in the best building? It was almost as if he was upset that I had the audacity to want to live somewhere nice. And I didn't get it. It wasn't like he was coming out of pocket any more than he had been. It's the same amount of money that he's been paying me salary-wise or compensation-wise, and with separation, nothing has changed. There was no need for him to give me any money for furniture. He didn't have to do anything different, but he seemed to have a real problem with my selection of this building. And I thought, well, maybe he just doesn't like the neighborhood, and maybe that's why. And this is before, he made it clear that he wasn't anticipating moving here. And I said, well, I looked around, I looked at other places, and I haven't found anything that comes close with the, the concessions and the amenities. And, I don't mind living here. This is great. This is great for my healing. I really need a place to heal. This has a place for us to work. We can work together, and we don't have to rent an office. Like, I saw all these positives. And again, the objections with no solutions. And so I asked him, I said, if you have something in mind that fits better with, that you think would be more reasonable, or, that has that, the space that we need for less money, just let me know. And he never took the time to do that. He just demanded that I find other places. And it just didn't make any sense to me. And it was so frustrating because after everything I had been through, the fact that I had married him and didn't get a marriage or a partner or a friend, and I had been displaced and exiled and hurt and humiliated, and I was coming back and just wanted something nice, wanted something enjoyable, wanted something I wanted. Why couldn't I have something I wanted? It was like I can't have anything I want. That's what it feels like. Like I have to justify wanting something that I'm deserving of, that's not taking anything out of his pocket. Just, it's the same money that's coming out. But it's like a control, like wanting to control how I spend my money, but at the same time not offering any transparency into how he spends money, or acting as though I have no right to learn to know anything about where money goes, how he spent. And I don't ask him anything. It's like I don't feel empowered, or like it doesn't even feel like I have the right to ask where he spends money on, and where he spends money and why. But he does that to me, and just felt really unfair, and I'm just so frustrated. I'm just so frustrated. These relationships are exhausting and imbalanced. They're not healthy. I don't feel like this is sustainable, and I feel like I have this ball of anxiety in my stomach, or this unsettled feeling in my chest and my stomach that I can't seem to get rid of. And I try to push it down and make it go away, but it's just there. And I think it'll be there until I can get away from him. And I'm really just not sure how I can right now. He makes things so difficult. Even when I try to be reasonable and fair, and when I'm not, I just feel like I just feel so frustrated, I guess. You can probably tell my thoughts are just not right. I'm rambling a bit because it's just I've always had a problem with inequity. Like, that's been a big thing in my life. Just, I've always championed fairness. It's important. And it's really important to me. And I just feel like he knows that. And it's a non-factor for him. Even if he's not losing anything, he doesn't want me to have. And I guess I understand it, because he's not well. And he's not a healthy person. He doesn't have a healthy mindset. But it's just so bizarre. It's like, why is he like this? Why are people like this? Oh, man. So that's where I am. That's just the double standards, the fact that I have a 6-month lease and he has a 14-month lease, and the fact that he's spending substantially more on the same size apartment than I am with less amenities just doesn't make any sense. And now I really have to think about where I'm going to go if I can't afford this upgrade. Yeah, I still haven't even fully furnished my place and just gotten comfortable, and it feels really hard to get settled, because it feels like as soon as I blink my eyes, I'm going to have to be working on leaving or negotiating my contract that I'll need him to agree to sign months from now. What if he changes his mind? What if he decides that he doesn't want to be tied into a longer term contract, which is what they're going to ask me to do? And then I have to find a